Hello everyone, this is Pico Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video, and as promised we will take a quick look at the channel's overall performance in the month of April in terms of the analytics, which videos did good, which videos didn't do as well, and where the channel is going forward. And as I always state with these videos going ahead, this really is primarily to give anybody who views the channel just some insight into how well it's doing or not doing in supposed cases. And this is really more to provide an insight for anybody who's just starting it off on a YouTube channel or is thinking about starting a YouTube channel. And this may provide some interest, provide some details on beginning a YouTube channel, and give some sort of idea of what the numbers are in terms of videos and how well they perform over a certain period. So really anybody who has, I guess, over 500 subscribers, this probably won't relate to you, or anybody who's starting to really gain some momentum overall, you probably won't view this as much value in terms of a video. But anybody who is just starting, or maybe anybody who is struggling to get numbers consistently, then this might provide some help. We're going to look at April and how well the channel did perform overall. Now, the standout elements was, first of all, the channel reaching over 400 subscribers. That happened last week, so I made a short video on that as well, and I was very happy just to see the channel just continue to get momentum overall. There was actually a bit of a slow period actually for the last month or two where I really wasn't getting that many subscribers over 3 or 4 or 5 days, as opposed to previously when I was getting around 2 to 3 subscribers every day. So that was good that we finally managed to reach that hallmark, and we've seen a steady increase as well in subscribers. Obviously now we're sitting, as you can see on here, on 418 subscribers. So hopefully now the pace can keep going ahead in the month of May as well. So we're just going to take a look at the analytics for April. So as you can see on here on this chart, normally very steady. As you can see, I normally get around 150 to 160 views every day. As you can see, I'm trying to upload every day or every 2 days as I possibly can. And then we had a sudden spike in the middle of the month, and that was because of the Shameless video, and that was one of my best performing videos within the whole channel. Now, this was the series finale of the show. It ran for 11 seasons, and I really did this review really last minute. I was kind of indecisive of whether to produce this review because Shameless is not that water cooler show in the same way as what Game of Thrones was, or most recently, if you like, let's say with WandaVision, or what Walking Dead used to be. You know, it used to be very popular, Shameless, certainly in its first 4 to 5 seasons, and then it kind of tailed off, and in terms of the storytelling, they kind of coasted, but it wasn't this huge trending topic each season. I mean, of course it's got its fans, just like every show has got its fans. So that's why I was a bit indecisive of whether actually to do the series finale through, but I made a choice at the end, and it just really got really good traction. And I think that's because there was a bit of outrage in the series finale overall in terms of the way it ended its story, or in its case it didn't end the story. It left things very open-ended, and a lot of fans were very disappointed about this, and I could see very much in my comments trail for this video, you know, a lot of fans, they didn't like the way that so many dangling plot threads and arcs had been left just out in the open. You know, any series finale, you need to close out the story, right? Because you're at the end. You're assuming you're not going to get any more continuations of the series. So you need to provide a rounded conclusion, and the finale didn't do that. So a lot of people were disappointed by that. There was nothing fancy about the video. I just gave my own thoughts and opinions on this, and I think it just was released at the right time. And as you can see here, it got good view duration for my channel anyway, over 5 minutes. I think the video is around about 18 minutes long. And it got around just under, at the moment, 2,500 views, or just under that. But the good thing about that video was that it got a lot of good engagement. That, you know, a lot of people responded to that video very well, because I think they were very passionate about the series overall, and they felt that, like me, it didn't really provide a resounding conclusion that I think the series deserved. It's gone on for over 11 seasons, and there were so many issues. I think another point was, well, that one of the main characters, Fiona, played by Emmy Rossum, she didn't make an appearance in the final episode either. It was just a clip from a previous episode, so I think that upset fans a lot as well. So that's why there was a bit of controversy, if you like, within the fandom of Shameless. So me putting out that video, and I think I covered the points very well, the good points and where the episode went wrong, and that got a lot of good traction as well. So that's why that video did so well. That's what really caused the big spike, as you see on this chart on here. So I've gone all of a sudden from 189 every day, and then hit there 475, and then it was sliding amounts to 387 on the Wednesday, and then had a big pick up again from the 424. So that's really what caused the big spike, and the video actually had a bit more lastability than what I thought. I thought it was going to get traction for about 2 days max and then just drop off, because like I said, Shameless wasn't that water cooler show, but it just kept going for the next couple of days. And yeah, there was a steady decline as what you can see on here, but it didn't drop back to its normal level for at least another week. So that was very good. So I suppose from my perspective, I need more videos like that, where they can hit a high peak and then just keep a steady decline, a very slow decline for a week or two, and hopefully then that can boost the viewership as well. So that was the biggest highlight, the Shameless series finale. Other highlights as well throughout the month included the Nadal and the Path to Glory, Greatest of All Time Glory, where basically I just outlined Rafael Nadal's path in the different tournaments that he can take leading up to the French Open, where I believe if he wins that, it will push him ahead of Roger Federer for the first time in terms of the Grand Slam tally, which I believe is the ultimate barometer in terms of who is the greatest tennis player of all time. So again, that got another good traction, supplementing my other video, who will become tennis greatest of all time in 2021. Again, there's a lot of debate about fandom, particularly of Djokovic fans, of course, because they already believe that he is the greatest of all time. So there was a lot of debate and intent on that as well. So that got a good amount of viewership, and the tennis videos have been good as well overall throughout this channel. And so that was another good video, and I'm pretty sure when I start doing the previews for the French Open, I expect to see some good viewership over that as well. So that's why I'm trying to keep up with the tennis videos, in particular centering around the big three, Nadal, Federer and Djokovic as well. So another video that performed very well was the announcement that Phoebe Waller-Bridge was going to be cast in the lead role as Indiana Jones 5. Now, of course, this triggered a lot of people, because they feel it's another continuation in this agenda push in terms of feminism and social justice inhabiting our most iconic franchises. So everybody was worried that Indiana Jones is going to be the next in line. And when in that video, I outlined my main concern was that Harrison Ford was too old. He's 78 at the moment. I believe they've started filming already. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, he's just too old. And I thought he was too old for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came back in 2008, right, when Harrison was in his 60s. So how can it fathom that he can be even better in his 70s? I mentioned before in that video that Indiana Jones is very much of a proactive character. It's him that's going to be digging the artifacts and trying to avoid the various booby traps and pitfalls. That's the allure of Indiana Jones. But at 78 years old, he won't be able to do that, right? So the big worry for a lot of people is that it's going to be Phoebe Waller-Bridge in whatever female role, whether she's another archaeologist, whether she's Indiana Jones. I guess it's going to have to be his granddaughter, because his daughter will be too old, I suppose, in this. Maybe it's his daughter, we don't know, but yeah, it could be one of those roles, and that she's going to be the one that's doing everything while Indiana Jones is just sitting there not doing anything. That's the big concern with many fans. So that's again why I think this got a lot of traction. And again, you can look at this graph here, it really does outweigh my normal performance, which isn't great anyway in terms of a video. But yeah, it just done really good, and it continues to pick up 1 or 2 views here or there, got decent amount of watch time in terms of my own videos. So that was a very good performer this month, and I think I did quite well with the thumbnail as well, as you can see on there, which always helps, of course. But that was another good performance in the month of April. And again, that was quite a trendy topic as well. So I think I did okay to jump on that. So we go back to the main list on here. Now, another video, if I can scroll down on here, that performed very well recently was the Snyderverse and how and why it failed the DC heroes. Now, a recent viewer asked me to cover the Snyderverse and in particular talk about the Arrowverse as well, the CW superhero shows, and how that compares and how that performed in terms of translating the DC heroes overall in comparison to the Snyderverse. So I did that video a couple of days ago, and I think in general I'm all talked out now in terms of the Snyderverse itself. I've done so many videos on it. I've literally reviewed most of the films surrounding the Snyderverse. I think the only ones I haven't reviewed on the channel was Wonder Woman, the first movie, and Shazam and Aquaman as well. Now I may get round to doing that at a later stage. If by all means, anybody who watches the channel, if you want me to do a review of the first Wonder Woman movie, Shazam or Aquaman, let me know in the comments of one of the videos and I'll provide that as well. But I've covered all of the other movies, and of course when the Snyder Cut was first originally announced, I covered it as well. I did two very epic videos, Snyder Cut Part 1 and Part 2. The first video what I've talked about the fact that was it worth the hype, was it worth the time, and in the second video I talked about have the fans really won, have they really got what they wanted. So I've been covering it ever since then, and since then of course I did the reviews of the actual movies and then this video overall. So that got a lot of dislikes. People, of course, I had a lot of the Snyder cult fans hating on that video, disagreeing with my opinions as well. I got a few comments on Twitter about that as well. So it was just my opinion and I stand by it. I think the Snyderverse has failed the DC heroes. I don't think it's maximised them the way it should have done. I've said multiple times that if it had done it right, it could have been bigger than the MCU, primarily because a lot of the DC heroes, particularly when we look at Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, they are the most iconic. In terms of general culture, yes, the MCU has changed that a lot, but Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, they are iconic because of the MCU's representation of them. Right, prior to the MCU, in terms of a mainstream audience, nobody really knew about these characters. Okay, so that's why I still believe that the DC heroes are the most iconic, and that if you get them right, then it could be a massive success. So I just think it failed. I left a timestamp within that video. I covered various topics that talked about the deconstruction of heroes and rushing the universe too quickly as well. So yeah, that provoked quite a lot of reaction, which it would do. As we all know, the Snyderverse has been a trending topic for the best part of a year, and it still continues to be a trending topic. We've had further discussions. We had the recent outrage when Warner Brothers released the Justice League 2017 trailer in 4K, so that provoked a lot of fans as well. I don't know why they had to do an actual trailer for it. I think there is a bit of antagonism for the studios, if I'm being honest. I don't think they were happy with the numbers. I know we get varying reports about how it's done 3.7 million household views in the last couple of days, and there was another report about how the 4K releases, they've already sold out. A certain Warner Brothers shop said that they've already sold out. It doesn't matter. When it came to the crunch, it didn't do the numbers to convince Warner Brothers to carry on putting out content concerning the Snyderverse. That's the bottom line. I think that's what people really need to get their heads around and get used to. And I understand a lot of people talk about the Snyder Cut because it's trending. I get it, but it doesn't really serve you well in the long run. It's just banging your head against a brick wall. They're not going to continue it. We also had the recent shots of the Green Lantern, didn't we? The Green Lantern in his the grey costume when they CGI the work later on. But again, it just doesn't mean anything. It's done. The Snyder Cut is done. The Snyderverse is done. This is not worth talking about it anymore. Like I said, we've got all the future projects coming ahead shortly, which is veering really away now from the Snyder Cut in the long run. So it's just, to me, it's just a dead topic. I've covered the video. I really can't see me doing any more videos unless we get another big announcement, unless we get more revelations from Ray Fisher, but I really just can't see what else there is to talk about the Snyder Cut as well. I just think it's finished. So anyway, that was another big talking point and a good topic overall in terms of the performance throughout the month. Now, other small performers as well. To Live and Die in LA, that's really been a good performer this month. It's been gathering a lot of traction. You can see here it's got the 5.9 view duration. It got 180 views this month, and that started off slow and then it just picked up. And I think there was another bigger channel, far bigger channel than mine. It did do a recent review of To Live and Die in LA. You can see on the graph here, look, nothing. When I first released this video, it was nothing, and then it just, look, all of a sudden it's just really jumped up, right? And I think there was another big movie review channel that did a big video reviewing the film, and then I think that linked to my video, and then I got put out in the suggested videos. You can see on the right side there, 41.7% of the traffic is from suggested videos. Now, obviously, as we all know, that's the big key to the videos, right? If you can get your content put in suggested videos, linking to other big YouTuber channels, then that's a good road for success. So that's what happened then, and I did nothing to trigger that. You know, I released it once, and then that's it. I didn't retweet it. I didn't put any extra posts on Reddit recently. It just caught traction. So sometimes it can happen like that, and I've had that with a few videos as well, when I've had other movie reviews and then they did nothing to begin with, and then all of a sudden they just picked up. So that was continuing to be a good performer as well. Stands at now 230 views and 21.7 watch times in terms of hours as well. So I think it's good that if I review these classic movies, and then they get talked about a lot more than what we got with recent movies, right? And I think that's the key as well to, I think, why some of these videos are performing very well. So another performing video as well was my film review of Bopa. Bopa was a film that was released way back in 1993, and that's a very powerful and compelling movie starring Danny Glover, and it's about the apartheid establishment way back in the early 1980s of South Africa. And I think it was actually based on true events, but that did very well. So here we have now the look at the Bopa video on here, and similar to the Live and Die in LA review, if you look, when I first released it, look, it didn't do anything. Like, it was just dead, and I thought it was dead because Bopa is not a revered film, as why I put it in my unrated and underappreciated movie review series, and then it just started picking up. And just like To Live and Die in LA, look, it's had a steady rise now. It's got way more watch hours. I can't actually explain this one. I don't think there's been a major review concentrating on the movie, but it just all of a sudden started picking up steadily over time. So I don't know what was the catalyst behind that video, but again, that's been another good performer overall this month as well. So that's really partly why I review more of the unrated films or underappreciated films, because those are the films that are kind of like a new discovery. So if you can review films like that, then eventually there'll be a remake, or a bigger channel will review the films, and then hopefully then, as with the case with To Live and Die in LA, it will push the video much more into the suggested videos. That's when hopefully the video can pick up more traction. So those are primarily the big performers in terms of recent uploads this month. Now, of course, the usual suspects in terms of the biggest performers throughout this month are the Spartacus videos and the Yuri Doji and the Who Will Become Tennis Greatest of All Time. Now, I've already covered that in recent videos. I said the reasons for why those continue to perform. And again, I don't look at those videos, particularly the Spartacus ones or the Yuri Doji, because people are just looking for clips, and I don't put clips in my videos. So when they click on that, they don't see there's any clips. They just click on and then they click off. So I don't value those as much, even though those are getting the most viewership. You know, that those are not the most value. So this is the overall list on here, and as you can see, the videos that I've mentioned here before. The other video that has been really good was the Ray Fisher video. And as we all know that's been a burning issue for many months, well, over a year now. I think that's been a burning issue overall. So my video, when I did that, got a lot of good traction as well. Again, that was quite a long video, and I put another timestamp in terms of covering the various topics. So again, this links all to the Snyder Cut, which is going to get a lot of trending as well. It will be interesting if Ray Fisher actually comes out of anything more, because he got his chance to say what he had to say now. So I think now, I don't think we're going to see any more, because like I said, the Snyder Cut, it's a done deal now. You're not going to get any more continuation. It's clear as day. He's not going to get his Cyborg movie or series, whatever that was promised to him. That's a done deal now. So he's pretty much, I think, dead in terms of the Ray Fisher issue, unless he comes out with something truly sensationalistic in the next week or two. I think it's done now, so I think he needs to move on. And again, I think we all need to move on. But yeah, that was another very good performing video. It wasn't outstanding. I only got 55 views, but it got good watch time. And again, look, you see on here, it just picked up and then it just got steady and then got consistent. So that's another thing you've got to look out for. Not just the amount of views, but how well the video continues to perform. So is it an instant hit and then it drops down the next day, or is it a gradual performer and then it just performs more and more over the set amount of days? So that's what this video has done as well. So I mean, you could argue you could keep just doing Snyder Cut, but I'm just not interested. I'm just think it's done now. I wasn't a fan of the Snyderverse, as I mentioned before, and it's just a completely finished topic. So I'm not going to keep doing videos on it. So I'm just going to carry on doing other topics and talking about other things that are relevant at the time. So that is really the main performance of April, really, as you can see on here. So I covered recently the Invincible finale and the Justice Society World War II. I did review Mortal Kombat as well. That didn't do very good either. But yeah, I'm really just need another big views video, just like the Shameless. That's what I'm looking for in terms of big performers. So hopefully in May we can get to that in the long run. It's going to be a bit difficult because in May now, I don't think there's any big television shows coming. Marvel, we won't get anything now till June. I think it's when Loki comes, and then I think Black Widow is coming in July. In terms of DC content, I don't really think we've got anything coming now. In terms of Warner Brothers, I'm not even sure what the big movie is, if there's going to be any released in May. We have got The Army of the Dead on Netflix, so that's going to gain a lot of attention because everybody wants to see how the next Zack Snyder project will perform, and I'm pretty sure if that's successful, then we're going to get lots of feedback again to the Snyder Cut and how they should expand the universe. So I think that's going to be amongst the big talking points in terms of movies and entertainment. I am keeping up on the drawing videos, so I did do a recent Harley Quinn drawing video just to celebrate the channel reaching 400 subs, and the next drawing video is going to be Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star, so look out for that very much so in the future. And yeah, I'm just going to keep doing with the movie reviews as well, so you're going to have quite a few. So I've got, I think, 4 ready coming in the next week or two, movie reviews. Again, I'm continuing to review movies that are amongst my most favourite of all time, and at the same time I will continue to do the most recent movies that come out. So you're going to get a few of those. Anime, I know the Demon Slayer movie came out just recently, and then there was that new anime with the Black Samurai. I may review that if I've got time, but I will continue to do the old school and as well as the new school anime review, so look out for that as well. And in terms of television review, so of course I think Batwoman concludes in the next 2 weeks, so I'm pretty sure that finale will generate a lot of talk, because I think we're going to get the reveal shortly of Wallace Day as Kate Kane, so that's going to cause a lot of attention as well. And then that's it really in terms of the viewing content. In terms of the boxing, I've really gone off boxing because I'm not really enthusiastic about the fights. We did recently have the Chisora and Parker. I watched that one. That wasn't very much of a fight to talk about. The Katie Taylor versus Natasha Jones, that was okay. And also the Andy Ruiz versus Ariola fight as well. That was nothing too special, but I may do a review of the Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders, which is next week. So that's quite a prolific fight that a lot of boxing fans are very interested in. So I probably will do a fight review of that when that comes out. But yeah, boxing, again, it's just a lot of these fights, they're not really interesting me. But that's really it in terms of the channel and where we're going ahead. So I just need to try and find another couple of big hits in terms of the videos, just like the Shameless videos. And maybe I'm going to try and concentrate maybe a bit more on trending topics and try and shorten the videos, because I've got quite long videos, some of them. So that's probably where I'm going to focus on going ahead for the month of May. I will still do great breakdowns like the top 10, I think, films and who are the best actresses or actors. I still like doing those videos, so I will continue to produce that as well. But that's really where we are at going that forward. 418 subscribers as well, and a decent month with a couple of high performers in the month of April. So that's really it, really, in terms of the coverage for the channel this month, how well it's performing. Let me know in the comments below if you are a fan of the content I've produced in this month, if you think there are any ways I could be doing the content a bit better, if you've got any suggestions or feedback, always welcome. Put them in the comments as well. You can link to my Instagram or my Facebook as well, or my Twitter. All the links are on the profile page, as all you can see on here, if you do want to contact me in the long run. You can also check out some of my artwork on my Instagram and also my Deviant art as well. So also look out for that. And that's it really in terms of the channel performing in terms of April this month. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will try and continue to do this every single month, so hopefully May can be a much better month in terms of the videos that are coming out. And like I said again, this will be more primarily to relate to anybody who's just starting out, and if it gives them any help or insight or advice, then yeah, I'll be very pleased with that as well. But any suggestions you've got for the channel, let me know in the comments also. But that's it for now. So really hit those likes and notifications and subscribe buttons and help me grow the channel much more. Hopefully we can get to 500 a lot sooner than wanted to get to 400. And then that will then put me halfway there in terms of the subs. But I've still got a long way to go in terms of the watch hours before we can get to monetization. But that's it for now. Let me know what you think in the comments below on the analytics and the performance of the channel within the month of April. That's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.